everyone, Fluffy here. Well, it is Fibro Friday. It is 7:15 p.m. So this will go out late, but it's coming out. And I changed topics, and can we guess what it is today? We're going to talk about pain flares. I am still in one, so I am who I am, and you get me no frills today. I still got the flu symptoms. I still got the flu symptoms or flu-like symptoms. So we're going to try to get through this. I got some hot coffee, which would help. It's kind of late for me to be drinking coffee, but it is what it is. Had some kimchi chicken made by the niece, and that helped a lot. So, let me start off by saying fibro flares are bullshit. And I don't mean like they're not true. They're just, how dare it? How dare Fibro do this to us, okay? Because, like, we already have enough going on. Now, I looked for a few articles, and a lot of them kind of irritated me a little bit because some of these things that, we'll go through it and you'll know exactly what I mean. I'll put a meme up here that's going to kind of go through. I'll read through it because it has more of what can cause a flare than like what the websites did, okay? So, we know what a flare is, but some of you might be watching because your spouse has it, your significant other, a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, a sibling, you know, well, that's a family member fluff. Anyway, so let's read through this. Fibro flare, you can read along. This is class. A fibro flare is an increase and an exacerbation in the intensity of your symptoms. A flare can bring out additional symptoms due to the stress it puts on the body and your emotions. A flare can last days, weeks, months, sometimes years. Knock on wood, I've never had one last more than, well, I can't say that. An intense one, no more than 2 weeks, but kind of at the end of my marriage, I felt like I stayed in one. Now, I'll be blowing my nose a lot. I don't know if I'll cut them all out. I'll consult with the kid and see what she thinks, but, you know, I try not to do that. All right, let's keep going. A flare can cause limited abilities to make you incapacitated or unable to do anything due to pain and weakness. A flare can come out of nowhere and knock you on your feet immediately. A fibro flare can sometimes be avoided by learning triggers that cause the flare. Okay, causes. These are some causes. Weather changes, insomnia, overexertion, traveling, relationships, multiple chemical sensitivity. You know, we talked about that. Temperature changes, treatment changes, sensitivity to lights, noise, and smell. That goes along with the multiple chemical sensitivity. Hormonal changes, stress, work, illness, injury, allergies. Yeah, how many of you agree? Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. Come out of nowhere and knock you to your feet immediately. Have you ever had one come out of the blue? I don't think I have. Well, maybe I thought it came out of the blue because I didn't know a lot about fibro in the beginning. And as I researched and stuff, I realized that, yeah, we pretty much know. Any of y'all get one out of a surprise? Or do you kind of know it's coming? Because when we went to H Mart and we got home and I moved around a little bit, I looked straight at the kid and goes, oh yeah, I'm fixing to pay for this. And the next day I was in bed. And then I went to that test for 2 hours, and when I got in the car, I already knew. So the kid insisted, you're going to take care of yourself, because I tried to rest. I tried to do the narco to try to kind of get in front of it, because sometimes I can. Sometimes I can soak, and sometimes I can do some things that can prevent it. Pretty much. I mean, I'll have extra soreness, but not a full-blown flare. What about y'all? Can y'all stave it off? Can y'all do that, or does it just go in? Do you know your body enough to try to stop it? But as I learned, if it's going to come, it's going to come. So, yeah, this one hit me hard, and it was not only, I have some of these, the overexertion, the traveling. I usually have a day or two of a flare when I go visit my brother-in-law. But, what do I always tell you? Do things that are worth it to you, if you know what you're going to do to yourself. Stress, I've had some stressors, I've got some stress going on right now, and I think that combined with the traveling and the overexertion, right? It's usually a combo, right? We get the combo platter. So, what I don't like about these articles, and I don't know, and tell me what you think. It says a fibromyalgia flare-up is a temporary increase in the intensity or number of symptoms associated with fibromyalgia. Okay, I agree with that. Usually increased pain and worsening fatigue are the hallmarks of a fibromyalgia flare-up. Okay, this is where I have an issue with this article. I'm not downing this person, and I usually tell you who wrote it, but I don't see an author listed. But this is the website Vital Motion, and I will put a description, like I always do, of where I get my information. Okay. The next one reads, additional symptoms may also occur during flare-ups. These flare-ups including during flare-ups. Okay. Poor sleep, trouble thinking, cognitive dysfunction, digestive difficulties such as acid reflux, swollen extremities, and numbness and tingling. These fibro attacks can last from a couple of days to several weeks or even months. Okay, the issue that I have with that are those are typical fibro symptoms, right? The way I'm reading this, and tell me if I'm wrong, therapist out there, let me know if I'm wrong. You're saying I'm doing so good so far. We get those all the time. Now, when you're in a flare, these things are increased. Okay, days get away from me because I've been spending a lot of time in bed. Okay, but my first day in bed was pretty bad. The second day was worse. Okay, I woke up and I came out here and sat down, and the kid made me, I think it was soup. And I've been doing a lot of soup lately. But that's okay, because the heat, I like the heat, it keeps things clear. And I was like, oh my God, I feel worse than yesterday. And the kid looks at me, and I don't know exactly what she said, but it was something to the tune of, yeah, you don't look good, or you look like crap, or I knew it. Because, and tell me all if y'all get this, because remember, we're all different. We don't always share the same symptoms. Like me, for the migraines, I don't get them very often. Again, knock on wood. Well, some have them almost every day. Anyway, it felt like, the inflammation gets so bad. I promise you, I felt so inflamed, swollen.
Inflamed.
Oh, inflamed is not a word? No. It sounded good. It's a fluffy word. Inflamed. Here, I'll put it right here. Inflamed. In case y'all want to know how it's spelled. Anyway, I was so swollen, I really felt like I could see my cheeks in my eyes. And, from my fall, oh my God, the fall again. Well, it does affect my everyday life. My face never fully recovered, okay? I have the permanent double vision, But I also have, and I've spoken about it a long time ago, but I don't speak about it too much. Half my face on the injured eye side, I get numbness, okay? Depending how I feel, the numbness usually can go, if I feel really bad, all the way out to here. Now, if I'm having a regular pain day, just a regular fibro day, it's numb, but I don't feel it being numb. You know what I mean? Like when you get Novocaine and you can feel that it's numb, I don't always feel that. That particular day felt like when I first got injured. It just felt, the numbness felt bad. Now today, I only feel the numbness on my lip because it doesn't go past here. It's like up to here, to my lip. I feel numbness here and here, but not past here. But this lip, this little bitty lip, this side is numb. And I think that's why it's turning in. I don't know. I might have to get Botox or something. No, I can't afford it. Anyway, and even the gums on that side. And it's very painful to brush my teeth. You know, so that's why I'm hesitant to go to the dentist. Anyway, so I get that. And I felt just so swollen. And so she was like, yeah, you just really don't look good. And so that took a couple of days, but I've been starting to feel less and less swollen. And then I get cottony in my head. You know, it's like somebody took a bunch of cotton or batting or something and shoved it in my ear so it could rest right here. And that's when the fog gets bad. Got really bad. The insomnia got bad. Last night, I didn't sleep at all. I maybe got dozed off for like 10 minutes, maybe. And I didn't get to sleep until like 11:30 today. And then I woke up like at 4:20. It is what it is. I did take muscle relaxers last night, but I will be taking them tonight, especially because of not sleeping last night and having this caffeine so late. Kid, your cousin's trying to get your attention, and it's making me crazy.
Sorry.
I just see this in the background.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm grumpy when I'm in a flare, and I'm trying real hard to not take it out on the kids, and that's why I'm trying to stay in the bed. But yesterday, I just couldn't. I got so sick of being in bed. Don't you? I get so sick of being in bed, so I stayed up yesterday. And then, what does my dumbass do? What did I do? I put a pork roast in the Instapot. I did laundry on my bed sheets. Even though I soak in the tub, I go in there and I walked into my bedroom and it smelled like dog. And so, of course, she stays with me. And I was like, I got to wash these sheets. The kid, thank God, put them from the washer to the dryer. But then I had to wait up for them. And, it was just a thing. I did something else and I can't remember. Oh, that was the day before.
Oh, okay.
I did something else. But before this, I don't want to hear nothing. I was soaking in the tub, and I woke up that day, and my hand was starting to hurt. And the niece saw me doing this, and she goes, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I just all of a sudden get a pain." We do, right? All of a sudden that comes out of nowhere. It was like, "Oh, this is hurting today," and I make a light of it because there's nothing you can do about it, right? And so I shouldn't have soaked, but I wanted to soak so bad. So I went into the bathtub, and I left my bedroom door open, left the bathroom door open, and the kid and niece were in here watching a movie. So I go in there, and I'm soaking, and I start to get out. Now, I'm a big girl, and my arms and legs are weak now, and it takes a whole lot of effort to get all this out of the bathtub. Okay, let's keep it real. So I turn, because I have to turn and then use my hand to brace myself and lift myself out of the tub. And when I did, I pushed up, and I could feel the pain in my hand, and I guess it just gave out. It slipped, and a whole left side, my bad shoulder hit the tub, my elbow hit the tub, my head hit the tile, and all I could think of was, I'm not going to call them. Because they didn't come running, and my flipping dog that is so worried about me the whole time was sitting on the bed. Yeah, even when I finally got myself out, got myself wrapped in a towel, And I called the kid to come check me out, make sure I'm not bleeding. I didn't think I was bleeding, but to check my arm and shoulder and stuff. And she said I was fine, and she helped me to the bed. And so I was like, well, you know, just add to the pain. And I had a hard time sleeping that night because it hurt so bad. But so let's see. Let's see if this one says... Okay, this breaks it down and just doesn't list them. These are many potential triggers of a fibro flare, which are listed below. Let's go through these and see. I haven't really... What did I get out of this website? This just talked... It didn't have a lot about flares. Even the WebMD, it just talked about regular fibro. So I'm sorry that y'all can't get a whole lot of information. But this vital motion says... Changes in weather. Changes in weather have been reported by fibro sufferers to bring on fibromyalgia flare-ups. If there's a change in temperature, yes, it adds more stress to your body, like cold makes me hurt. Does it put me in a flare? I've never really known if it had or not. I just know that I ache real bad, but once I warm up, I don't continue with the severe pain, the extra pain. You know what I mean? So that to me is not classified as a flare. Let's see. Increased exertion. Well, there's one. I think that happens to all of us, right? Increasing physical activity beyond usual routines could bring on a flare up. They call it a flare up. Increased physical activity should be done gradually and with a physician's guidance. They tell you that, you know, you should exercise regularly because they liken it to arthritis. You know, if you don't move it, you lose it. And that if you work out your muscles and stuff, you will feel better. Okay, I get that. But the trick is that you have to find that happy medium. You have to work to help yourself increase your ability to do stuff, but you have to stop there and not go far. That's going to cause a flare-up. Because then, okay, let's say you work out, you do too much because you're kind of feeling good. So you do too much, and then what happens? You get into a flare, and you have to be still and not do much. At least I do. I don't know. I guess some people push through and persevere, and I just really commend you. And I guess if I were in a different situation, I would have to. But I have the luxury, and I told you that, I think, in the very beginning, that, you know, I don't have young children, I just have the dogs, and I do have help, and I don't work, which I miss terribly, so I'm in a unique situation. But, so, and I even had somebody on my channel one time when I talked about fibro, and they were not real nice about it, but I worked out, and I cured my fibromyalgia by working through the pain, and I worked out every day. My answer is, even though I'm not a medical expert or anything like that, I'm not in the medical field, but I feel like, yeah, then you didn't have fibro. I mean, that's just my thinking. Tell me if I'm wrong. And it's okay if you tell me. Just be kind. All right. Now you beat that to death, but Fluffy, move on. Okay. Injury or illness. An injury or illness such as an infection can cause a flare of fibro symptoms. It is recommended to seek physician care quickly when an infection is suspected or an injury occurs. Yes, that's, again, when you have an injury, isn't that an increase of physical activity? You had to been doing something to get injured? I don't know, because getting out of the tub is like a big physical act, but it doesn't normally put me in a flare. I was already in a flare, so I was just like, well, one more thing. What do I do? Cry about it all night? It was just one more thing. Okay. So then the next day when I got in the tub, I had told the kid, that's okay. I'm just going to go in the tub, and I'll keep the door open, and I'll just holler for you if, you know, I'll keep my phone close. She wasn't taking no chances. She said, right there, watch me take a bath. Okay, change in weather. We talked about that. Oh, changes in temperature. Many fibro sufferers experience a flare with extremes of temperature, such as when exposed to excessive cold or heat. But that goes to changes in weather. I think those two are interchangeable, yeah? Stress. Increased periods of emotions or physical stress can bring on a fibro flare. Physical stress. Well, that's overdoing it physically. But tell me if I'm wrong. But in my, I wanted to say professional opinion, but being a fibro person, in my experience, a flare that is caused by stress is worse than a flare caused by simply overdoing it physically. What do you think? And when you put the two together, whoa, buddy, right? Tell me how many of you agree with that and have experienced both or both of them together. Let me know. I'm curious. And I want to take right now to say I appreciate all of y'all engaging with me and each other, telling your stories and things like that. I'm really happy to see that. I really, really am. And again, please, 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 I don't care if you don't share any of my other videos. I mean, it can if you want to, but the fibro ones are what's important to me to get the word out, okay? So if you would share these on your other social medias, I would appreciate it. And you do realize you can share it on Twitter too. Let's see. I really believe that. Decreased sleep. Okay, this, fibro often results in difficulty with sleep. Thus, when sleep is disrupted or there is a change in the sleep patterns, fibro symptoms can flare. What do you think? I mean, we already have fibro insomnia. We often find it very difficult to sleep. That's why in one of my other videos, I encouraged you to take a nap if you finally think you could sleep, to just lay down and take a nap if you can, because sleep is not promised to you later. So, does it make our insomnia worse? I've never really, maybe I guess so, because we've got increased pain. It would be difficult to sleep more. I think I've had more sleepless nights, so maybe this is right. Travel, y'all. Individuals with fibro can experience a flare while traveling, as this can often result in exposures to multiple triggers such as change in diet, changes in temperature, and interrupted sleep. For me, even when I travel the 3.5 hours to Houston, during that travel time, I already know that traveling there, just that, is going to cause me to flare some. Now, is it added? I'm not in my own bed. Yes, we eat a little differently, but not really, because they like the same things I like. Matter of fact, when my brother-in-law, like my brother-in-law's husband, he's Filipino and he cooks some awesome food job. And he cooks healthier than when we go out. But maybe that's a combo of everything, but traveling is really hard for me. I mean, we traveled to H Mart hour and 20 minutes, maybe, and I still had an issue with it. But then I walked it off, so. Treatment changes. Changing in the treatment regimen, such as a change in medication, can bring on a flare. Oh, yeah, any changes, right? New medication. And I give credit to some of these, some were here because they were talking about treatment. And I guess maybe, would you call it treatment when they just give you pills? Do y'all call that treatment? They call it anti-seizure drugs. And I have an issue with, and pharmaceutical companies, don't come after me. It's my personal opinion but a lot of people don't know, what's the anti-seizure drug, kiddo, that they give to us? Kid? The anti-seizure drug that they give us?
Gabapentin.
Huh?
Gabapentin.
Gabapentin. You see commercials for gabapentin and its cousin.
No, Neurontin's the brand name.
Yeah. You see it all the time. It's its cousin. For fibromyalgia. But did you know that the pharmaceutical companies get fined millions of dollars every single year for off-label promotion. That is, this anti-seizure medication is being sold like it's a fibromyalgia medication. It is not, in my opinion. It is a anti-seizure drug that they give to fibro people because they feel like it helps with chronic pain. I had it for back pain for a while until I found out what it was, and then I got off of it. Because it scared me. And some of y'all, I know, swear by it, and that is cool. If you and your doctor talked about it, remember being your own advocate, you and your doctor talked about it, and he felt like it was the best for you, and you agree with him, and you taking it, and you feel like it is doing really good for you, then I applaud you, and good for you for finding something that actually works for you. Okay, but I give this medical news today is this article, and again I will put the link in the description box, that he called it, and they called it anti-seizure drugs. There's nitrexione, Nitrexone. I've never heard it, which is an anti-opioid medication may be helpful. Y'all, I'm sorry. This fog is really bad. I know I've been frustrating the kid and the niece with it. I can't talk for crap. I've never heard of that. Have y'all? Does it have a different name? Taking therapies such as CBT? I thought CBD, but this says CBT, aim to alter the way a person thinks about things and may help tackle fibro in a more positive way. Psychotherapy can also help someone with fibro help understand and deal with their thoughts and feelings. And the other thing that was listed was antidepressants. Okay, and there it comes along with fibro comes depression and anxiety, because how can you have something this awful and not be anxious or depressed about it, right? If you can, you are my hero. You just really are, and I give you a lot of credit for that. I cannot. There is no cure for fibro. However, medication and lifestyle changes can help treat fibro and reduce the likelihood of flares. Fibromyalgia is a condition that can be managed, and people with the disorder can live a full life. Participating in regular exercise is one of the most effective ways that fibro flares can be avoided and pain can be managed. Okay. Maybe I've gotten into, like when people gain weight, they get in a vicious cycle. They get a little heavy, so they get more tired, they get more sedentary, and so they start feeling bad, and they have nothing to do, so they get up and they go eat, and they sit down and watch TV because that's more comfortable, and so they gain a little more weight, so they get a little more tired, and get a little more, and get more or less inactive. So what do? They get more bored, and they eat more, and it's just a vicious cycle till you wake up one day and you look in the mirror, and your stretchy pants don't fit anymore. I know people that have never been heavy don't see it. They don't get it, and they don't see it, but that's what happens. So maybe that's the same with fibromyalgia and the flares. For me, is there anyone out there, because I want you to prove me wrong, because if there is, the rest of us have hope. Is there anyone out there that has been able to successfully prevent flares or severe flares? And if you can, what is it that you do? Because I know for here, I feel better when I can go out and be amongst people. That's why I push myself. That's why I'm trying to do a better job other than this week. And I apologize for Mukbang Monday. It was the kid and the niece that got that haul together and was able to get at least a video out on a Monday like y'all were expecting. It just wasn't, y'all wouldn't have watch me eat. I was just, y'all know, y'all understand. That who successfully, yes, if you could exercise and you find that limit, you find that wall, and you don't go over it, that will help you. Because remember, I told y'all, I was the worst example because I feel better be still. And it's why I stayed in the bed and listened to the kid, and she wanted me to just not do anything. Just be in the bed, soak in the tub. Here, I had all this going on, like had the flu. I kept feeling like I had fever, and she'd like, Mom, you don't have fever. And because it'd been a long time since I've had that bad of a flare, this bad of a flare. I say that because the mental and that is subsiding. So I've just got to get from here down better, and then the fog. There's probably still a little bit of batting in there because y'all have seen that me reading. But so this really hit me hard. I haven't had a flare like this since I left the X. I had flares last year when I had my surgery, and things got really bad after the X and I split up. But the flare that I had for 2 weeks that the X didn't even notice, that was the worst of it at that time. But I stayed in a mild flare for months after, and I get the mild ones. I mean, for me, it's not mild, but I'm talking about so severe, I felt like, and even the kid who doesn't have fibro, she understands as much as she can for one who doesn't have it. Does that make sense? And so she knows her mom. She sees it in my face. And for her to tell me, Mom, you look terrible. You look bad, or whatever she said. And, they've kept me company. They've come into the room, and we've had lunch as much as we could together in there, and that was nice. I kept company, but I got so sick of the bed. What about y'all? Mom, what are you doing up? I just got sick of the damn bed. And what was sad is that I got wore out sitting in the recliner. But, I had to do something, so they had an appointment, so I had to put the roast in the oven. Not in the Instapot. Then I wanted to do my sheets and my blanket. Nothing feels better than clean sheets. So I did that, and just that little exertion. Y'all, fibromyalgia and the flares, they're asshole. That's the word, right? All right. About 30 minutes talking about the stupid fibro flare. And I hope I was... Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. Because that's exaggerated too. Itching, y'all, if you didn't know, your random itches, that comes from fibro. If you're thinking, why am I itching? I bathe regular. I haven't been around any allergens. What is going on? That is pain manifesting itself in the form of itching, which is why a lot of the times allergy medications, Benadryl, does not work. I call them voodoo pricks. Where you're just sitting there and all of a sudden it feels like somebody took a needle and went whack. And if you're out in public, it's like, oh. Well, I've been getting them a lot during this flare, and muscle spasms have been awful. And the ones in my back and my lower back. And then my knees, forget about it. And I know some of it has to do with my weight. Please. I'm going to win the lottery. That's an old German thing. When your left palm itches, you're getting money. When your right palm itches, you're giving it away. Don't itch. Anyway, I want to thank y'all for watching. I kind of got off the rails a little bit. I don't really like talking about anything but fibro on Fibro Fridays. But with this fog, I was going to forget to tell you, and I might even cut that out. So, God bless y'all. Positive vibes out to each and every one of you. Remember to always be kind and be your own advocate. I love you, and I will talk to y'all real soon, okay? Bye.